Okay, so we'll get started. Hi, Angela, and hi, anyone who's taking this class a little later. I'm gonna face you guys just so you can see, but you wanna be in a seat at the edge of your mat. And we're going to start in a toe stand. So that's just tucking all 10 of your toes right underneath you and sitting as far back as you can. You can forget this completely if it's feeling too tight in the feet. We're gonna be here a while, it's kind of the challenge. So maybe when it feels too painful, you just untuck your toes and have a seat again on your toes or on a block. So before we go into our toe stand, just to get kind of situated, we'll have a seat on our knees or your block and squeeze your inner thighs together. Hands are laying lightly on your lap. They can be on top of each other or just flat. You can close your eyes and you can start to tune in to listen to your breath, to listen to the sounds around you. And you can slightly tuck the chin and generally lean back a little bit, like you have a wall to support the press of your rib cage and the press of the back of your head. Feeling the whole length of your spine. So maybe on this inhale, feel like air is coming out the top of your head and you're growing an inch taller. And on your exhale, feel like everything is compressing to the center line of your body, right underneath. The belly button pulls up and in. The chest lifts. One more like that, growing as tall as you can on the inhale. And exhale like you're squeezing to the center. Then we'll really get started taking the hands down on the mat, tucking your toes under, and making an effort to squeeze your ankles in close to each other and even flip under your pinky toe. So this is a real deal toe stand. And we put some pressure just with the weight of your body, but still we want length in our spine. Try as much as you can to find that comfortable breath and relaxed upper body. And remember, if it's too much, you let it go, you just have a seat. We'll take the hands out in front of you and warm up the wrists because we're doing a lot of hands and knees today. So push against an imaginary wall and really make a crease at your wrists. So you have straight arms pushing. The wrists are in line with the shoulders. And notice if the belly is spilling out, let's squeeze it in and make this kind of burn in the elbow creases and in the shoulders. So push, 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 push. We'll stay here a little while. You can spread your fingers apart. Imagine you have the ground underneath your hands to push against. Still breathing, still waking up. Good. Now we will open up the shoulder blades even more, so exaggerate your push forward, like you're rounding the spine. Hi. So we're in a toe stand, Nada. The long spine, pushing an imaginary wall. Then we'll squeeze the shoulder blades together behind you, retracting those shoulder blades. One more, a little push forward, spread those fingers, just really straighten out the arms and don't let them fall. And we squeeze the shoulders back, spreading the palms. Almost there, reach the arms forward. Tuck each one of your fingers into the pads of your knuckles so you have this thumbs up. Keep the chest where it is, keep the shoulders where they are, and reach those arms over your head. Lengthen your spine. Light tuck of your chin, lean back. And fingers come down, untuck your toes, maybe give them a little tap down to the mat, and have a seat again on your toes. One more time, reaching the arms forward, press your imaginary wall. Now that you don't have your toes there to concentrate on, maybe you push even harder and you spread your fingers and you squeeze the belly in and lift the chest up. We're gonna tuck the fingers into the pads of the knuckles, so you have the thumbs spreading away from the knuckle pads. Feel that stretch along the inseam of your leg, of your arm. Relax the shoulders, using the strength of your arms to reach your arms over your head and pull your rib cage in. As straight arms as you can get. The tailbone feels heavy towards the feet. Squeeze the inner thighs. Feel like you could maybe lift off the ground with the chest. Widen the arms apart, so a big thumbs up. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Separate your shoulder blades apart. Big thumbs up still. Thumbs face the ground, spinning from the shoulder girdle. Your arms are still long. And then wrap the thumb around around the fingers. Bend your elbows, but keep them lifted up high. Take a breath in, realign the spine. Stay on the breath out, match your elbows. One more breath in. Go for a fist pump behind the back, but don't touch your fingers just yet. They are hovering away from each other. For one more inhale, one more exhale. Interlace your fingers behind your back, draw your hands back all the way to your toes or the ground, and lift open the chest. Relax your neck. Lift from the heart space. Nice. So you could have potentially been at the back of the mat for all of that. Come back into your little toe stand, tucking each one of your toes, and think about how that connects all the way up towards the shoulders. So think about the line in the back body. Take your fingertips out in front of your knees, press back into your feet, and come into a tiny squat, like you're rounding your spine, like your bum is getting a little heavier, and tuck your chin. So we want our rounded spine, like the heels are gonna touch the ground one day. Really let the weight fall backwards. Nice, then the knees come down to the ground. Take your hands up, take a breath in. Take your hands down, tabletop with arched tucked toes. And separate your knees if they're too close. You can wiggle out your hips just a little and press your hands as firmly as they were when they were pressing forward. We'll take a breath in, arch the spine, so like a cow spine on the breath in. Breath out, start from the tuck of the chin, the tuck of the pelvis, round the spine, and firm up the hands in the mat. Now we'll untuck your toes. Do the same thing, arch the spine, see if you want to bring the lift of the toes up towards the ceiling, lift the chest, and soften the elbows like you're pushing your chest forward. If the sun rises tomorrow, and now we'll tap the feet down, press into your hands, hover the knees, and round like you are gonna roll underneath your body. One more, inhale, arch your spine, lift the toes, lift the chest, look up. Exhale, feet down, knees hover around your upper spine. See if you can straighten your legs. So like a plank with our feet flat, push like crazy into the ground. Look forward, into An upward facing dog. Lower your hips, they're still hovering. Lift the chest, really opening up the back body. Hold it, breathe in. Hold it, breathe out. Knees come down. Closed knees, child's pose. So feet come down, knees come down, head comes down, and hands are in a prayer above your head. Press your palms. Bend your elbows, take your thumbs behind your head, behind your neck, maybe walking the elbows forward and pushing down on your elbows to get a stretch of the front of the armpits, of the triceps. And straighten your arms. Your arms are in a prayer. Firm up the shins to the mat. Squeeze your belly. Tuck the chin. Press the palms so the elbows come off. You have super straight arms. Take a breath in. Come all the way up to sitting on your heels on the breath out. We're avoiding the lift of the bum off of the heels. 2 more times, like you're making a crease at your hips. Take a breath in. Going down, 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 looking down, lengthening the tailbone, resisting the mat until you come down. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, belly curls in, up we go. Last time, waking up, the core strength, breath in, breath out, fold at your hips, look down, resist, and come all the way down. One more, press down, 2, rise up. This time, hands come behind your back. Find your fingertips on the mat. Stay here or pull the knees forward. Tuck the pelvis under to arch the spine. Lift up. You can even relax your head back. Good. And we'll have a seat. Take your hands back into your tabletop. So this is our starting position. You're gonna tuck your toes under in your tabletop. You can do this with your knees down, or if you're ready, we're lifting, hovering the knees off of the mat, pushing like crazy into the palms, suctioning those ribs in and lengthening the tailbone back. Look forward, pressing off your toes. Pull the weight forward like you're straightening the legs a little. The shoulders are passing the wrist. Breathe out, bend your knees more, send your hips back. So if your knees are down, one more time, we're shifting the weight forward, waking up the wrists, waking up the low belly, and breath out, the hips go back, and you're hovering. Coming back to center, dropping the knees, walk your hands forward, about a hand's distance, not too crazy, but out of our shoulder under wrist alignment. Going for the same thing, knees down or knees up, just to hover. Find the pull of your rib cage, look forward. Pushing off your feet, heels are pressing back, chest is pressing forward. Take your inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, spring off the legs, bum goes back. Just one more time, it's really tough. Inhale, pull forward, chest is wide, heels press back. Exhale, let's bend those knees. And we come back with the knees down to the mat. One more, not too far forward, about halfway more. So a little bit wider. Prepare, take a big breath in. Breath out, hover your knees off of the mat. So you're pretty much going into a plank pose, pressing off of your toes so much. The knees are not up here just yet. They're really close to the ground. Straighten out the legs and send your chest forward, relying on your feet and on your arms. Breath out, bend those knees, press into the hands, and shift the weight back. One more time, pressing the feet, sending the chest forward, bending the knees, and sending the bum back. From here, knees come down, knees go wide, touch your toes, It's a child's pose, more traditional with the head down, the arms wide. You can walk both of your hands to the right side of the mat and pull a little bit on your left palm. And switch your sides, walk your hands through center, over to the left, pull on your wrist. Good, and we'll come forward. Coming into where we were, take your hands a little bit wider than they were. Take your knees in, tuck your toes, pull forward into a plank pose, bend your knees and push the hips back, and then up, and here we are in our downward facing dog. So our first one, letting the head go, tucking the chin under, and pulling your sit bones up and back. Here we'll walk the hands back towards the feet until you land your heels on the ground. Widen the feet apart, turn the toes out, and have a seat in your Malasana squat. If you need a block or if you're hovering a little, that's okay. It's our first one. Push your thighs against your elbows and lift the chest, and return to a breath you can hear or you can feel. And fingertips come down to the mat. Widen your stance with your hands. We need a firm press in the hands. Lift the hips up as you bow down. Have a seat again, bending the knees, resisting the mat with your feet. More like that, lifting your hips, bowing your head. Lowering your hips and having a seat. One more time, lifting your hips, bowing your head. Walk your hands forward, keep your feet as they are. Hands come into like a wide little froggy downward facing dog. Pull the sitting bones up so you have the chance to kind of feel it more in the low back, the opening in the low back, in the hips. And walk your feet into a regular downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward through a plank pose. However, you're going to come down to the mat. You choose the knees or not. In one exhale, tap all the way down. Point your toes, squeeze your thighs, upward facing dog, or anywhere along the way for your baby cobra. Downward facing dog, we flip the toes, oopsie, and lift your hips. Let's lift the right leg up. Inner rotate the right thigh. Square your hips and push more into your hands. Let's lift the left heel so the other heel is lifting off of the mat, and lower the left heel, pull it down to the mat. Inhale, lift your left heel. Exhale, lower your left heel. Inhale, lift your left heel. Exhale, step your right foot on the outside of your right hand. Tap your left knee down. You can keep the toes tucked or untuck the toes and pull that weight forward. Using your hands for support, bend the front knee. And we'll bend the back knee, reach to grab your foot or make some contact and grab your foot. Pulling your foot to the back and bending your elbow to draw it back in. Left shoulder rolls away from your ear. We'll let go of that foot, take the right hand down, lower the left foot and straighten your right leg. So you're in this kind of wide half splits. See if you can take both of your hands over to the right side of your leg or your foot, or you're holding your foot. So adding a little twist as you pull the right hip away from you. And bow your head. Come out, hands forward, bend your front knee, tuck your back toes, lift into a three-legged dog. Right leg lifts gracefully up and back. Look forward, step forward, high lunge. So right foot comes down. For this high lunge, we're gonna bend the back knee and have it like a spring. Fingertips to the mat. Look forward, reach the arms up, you're in your high lunge. Keep that back knee bent so we can pull the hips forward. So everything is squeezing to the center. And flowing through, hands frame your front foot. You can even tap the knee down if you need. Reach the arms up. One more, tap the hands down to the ground. More of a bend in the back knee. Keep that back knee bent as we rise up. High lunge, breathe in. Open wide, warrior two on the breath out. Bend the right knee. Drag your left heel towards you. Walk your left foot in. Left hand could be on your hip. Ardha Chandrasana, if you have a block or the floor or hand is floating or any prop that you have at home, we're lifting the left foot. The arch of your left foot is parallel to the ground. Soften your standing leg and lift from the inner thigh. Hands can separate as you find your balance. Lean back. Look down to the mat, turn the hips, float for a second. Fingertips touch the mat, standing splits. Lift your left leg as you bow down. And for this one, walk your hands closer to your foot. Pull on your back leg. Bend your top knee. Yes, then both feet land on the ground. Toes close together, Utkatasana, inner thighs spin in, hips draw back. Reach your arms overhead. Breath in, stand up, Tadasana, breath out. Soften your shoulders, separate your fingers. Arms reach up, you can look up on the inhale. Fold in half on the exhale. Halfway lift, breathe in. Walk or hop back, plank through Chaturanga, or all the way down. Upward facing dog, breath in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. Left leg reaches up and back, not too high up to open the hip. Turn the hip down, straighten out that leg. And we're pulsing the right heel. Right heel lifts, inhale. Right heel lowers, exhale. Right heel lifts, inhale. Right heel lowers, exhale. Right heel lifts. Left foot steps on the outside of your left hand. Tap your right knee down. And find a little heaviness in your hips to open them up. Fingertips are there for you. You can stay right here or bend your back knee first. Kind of get a feel for how far it can go towards you. Reach back, touch, make contact or don't. Little resistance of this foot back, this arm forward. Let go of your back leg. Hands to the middle of the mat. They're both on the inside of your foot. Flex and straighten out that leg. You can stay here, or both hands go on the outside of your left leg, pulling your left heel back as you fold down. Bend the knee, hands come back down to the mat. Tuck your back toes. Three-legged dog. We'll lift the left leg up and back. Look forward, going straight forward with the left foot, high lunge. But let's have a back knee that's bent, almost in a right angle to the mat. You're on the tippy toes of your back foot. You're using the strength of your core to rise up, and we're gonna play with that a little bit more. Take your inhale. Round and fingertips come down to the mat. This knee bends even more. Press your feet, rise up, and round. One more, press your feet, rise up, and we'll stay. Open up wide, warrior two. Keep that action in the center body. Reach your right arm back, left arm forward. Pull the left knee open. And hand comes to your hip. Heel toe your back foot in and find your pattern, your path where you're going to bend the knee to kick off your leg. Maybe you have the ground or a block. Reach the right hip over the left. Ardha Chandrasana pose. Inner thigh is working overtime. Flex the foot and reach the arms apart. Nice, looking down, fingertips to the ground, standing splits, bow your head, bend your back knee, hands closer to your foot, almost like you're diving forward. Both feet touch the mat. Bend your knees. One more, Utkatasana pose. Inner thigh squeeze, tailbone goes straight down and back. Inhale. Exhale, stand up, Tadasana pose. Relax your arms. Arms reach, you can look up. Exhale, fold in half. Halfway up, breath in. If you want to hop back, flush it out, hands down. Hop back, bent elbows. Up dog, breathe in. Just into a tabletop on your breath out. So getting comfy in your tabletop again. I just cut my hair, little bangs. Getting in my way. So, hands down, pressing, making this crease of your wrist. We want really strong arms. Pulling the ribs a little bit up towards the ceiling. Never hurts because they're trying to fall down to the ground. You're going to tuck the toes. Send your left leg straight back. So what happens is the weight is going to fall onto the right side. So first lengthen the leg, find the toes on the mat. Pull the belly in and hover that leg. Point the toes for this one, inner rotate the thigh. So see how the ribs, the chest started to fall forward? Let's pull it back up and in. Keep it really strong. Pulsing up here, just pulsing like you're tracing a line up. So we want to be more precise than do a lot of reps. Reaching that leg up by squeezing the whole back of your leg. Hands are pressing. Notice if you're leaning to one side. If this is not a challenge for you, you want more, you're hovering the other knee off of the mat as you lift your leg. And we'll all meet with a long left leg, a long right arm, just balancing here from the center line. And bend the back knee, reach to grab the toes, and give it a little pull, like you're lifting the knee up. Nice. Circle that arm to the mat. Left leg is long one more time. Pivot this right leg open to the right side. And here we are in our gate pose. You're dragging this left foot down. Trust your right hand is pressing. Shoulder over your wrist. Left hand's gonna go behind the head. Nice. Really lifting the left hip over the right. Let's hover the left leg, flex the foot this time. Good. You're just feeling the press of the ground. Shoulders stacked, hips stacked. You can stay right here or take a breath in. Bend your knee and crunch elbow towards the knee. They probably won't touch, that's okay. 3 times, kicking and lifting. Elbow away from the knee. Bend and squeeze. One more, we kick and we squeeze. This time, we kick, stretch that left arm over your head, point the toes of your back foot and get as long as you can on this side. And tap the toes down to the ground. And almost like you're flipping over, so kind of like a reverse wild thing, but you don't have to think about it too much, almost like a joy pose. Arch the spine and press your foot. And spin down, left hand down, back into your tabletop. Let's arch the spine just to flush it out on the breath in, and round your spine on the breath out. I told you there's a lot for the hands and the knees. But here we are, we have another side. So tuck the toes under, pull the ribs up and lengthen like you can balance something on your low back. You're pulling that sit bone away from the crown of your head. More pressure in your left hand and your left foot. Kick the right toes back. If your knees are on the ground and you're pulsing up from here, if not, they're hovering, circle in the thigh like crazy. We want that inner rotation of the thigh. And here we go, just pulsing that leg up and noticing what happens to your spine. Still breathing, the chest is pulling forward. You can hover your left knee, see what happens. And we'll meet with this leg super long, like someone's pulling on your toes. Pull those ribs in, reach left arm forward. Find your balance here. Lots of pressure in your right hand, your left toes. Bend your back knee, reach to grab your toes, and lift the knee. Let go of the foot. You're pivoting the left heel back. So wherever is good for you, diagonal's nice for me. We're rolling the right foot down, reaching the right hand up, and then the right hand comes behind the head. So here you can see you're lengthening the tailbone, giving the hips a squeeze. Let's reach that right leg up. Hold it there. You feel how much you're squeezing this hip up towards the ceiling. You can stay or breath in, breath out, crunching in, elbow to the knee. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, stretch, arm away from the toes. Point your toes, get super long, almost to side bend, and touch the toes to the ground, and a flipping over and reaching up towards the ceiling. And hands to the mat, back into your tabletop. We'll tuck the toes under. I'm going to lift the knees off of the ground. Pull the weight forward. Pull the weight back. Pull the weight forward. Back and up, downward facing dog. Come forward in through a plank pose on your breath in. hold your plank on the breath out. Walk your hands forward so you have a wide plank. Your hands are in front of your shoulders, like you're resisting the mat with your hands and with your feet, and we'll test that out. So look down on your mat, grip the mat with your fingers, little tuck of the tailbone and a press back of your heels. Take an inhale, tap your knees down to the ground on the exhale. Inhale, straighten your legs. Exhale, tap your knees. Inhale, straighten your legs. Exhale, tap your knees. One more, working the triceps a little more than in our plank. Tap the knees down. This is called puppy pose. You're sending your hips back. Maybe your elbows come down to the ground and you can relax your head, or you're trying to get the chest down to the ground. Keep walking your hands forward as you walk your hips back. It could be that the top of your head is down instead, but stretch those arms. And then bend the elbows and land on your belly. Straighten out your legs, your toes are pointed. Make a little pillow with your hands and tuck your chin. And relax your head into your hands. You can keep your head in your hands. We'll find the press of the hips. Really push the tops of the hips down into the mat and make your legs an inch longer. Squeeze the tops of your thighs so the kneecaps are coming off of the mat. And we're going to practice doing these little kicks towards the bum, but the knees are not touching the ground. You're squeezing the hips down and the thighs so much that the knees feel like they're being lifted. So just little pulse twice, and then a kick out, and the knees never touch the ground. Little pulse in, and a reach back. Little pulse in, and a reach back. This time, interlace your hands behind your back. Relax the palms on the back. Your little kick, so you're kicking. When you lengthen your legs, it's like Purna Shalabhasana, using the arms to lengthen. The knees never touch the ground. We'll go for 3 more. Hands rest on the back. Little kicks, the knees are always lifted. Pulse, pulse, and kick and reach the arms back, lifting the chest and pointing the toes. One more time and we'll stay. Little kick in. Long legs, hips press down, arms reach back, and hold a little longer, spin the thighs inwards. And relax the feet. Hands come down, upward facing dog, or just a baby cobra will feel nice. Downward facing dog. Let's lift those hips up and back. Keep your feet where they are. Walk your hands all the way back towards your feet. Widen your feet, and here we are in our Malasana one more time. Press your hands together and lift the chest. Let's see if we can reach the arms forward. Press like crazy into your feet. All 4 corners of your feet. Your knees are widening on their own. Reaching the arms up as we lift up to standing. You can circle the arms and bend the knees and lower back into your squat. 2 more. Reach up, arms up. Circle the arms wide. Bend the knees, reach the arms forward. Last time, or you can skip it. Reach up, arms circle wide. And down we go. Find your hands in the mat. Walk yourself forward. Push your hips back. You're in your wide downward facing dog. Nice. And walk your feet in. You're in a downward facing dog. Reach your right leg up. Take a breath in. Step your foot on the outside of your right hand. This time we straighten the legs like a wide pyramid pose, pulling that right hip back. Find both of your hands on the right side of your right foot. Bow your head. And keep turning to the right side till you have a seat with your knees stacked. Hold onto your heels. Push the tailbone down, lift the chest up. Fold like you're diving over your legs. Gomukhasana pose. Continue to press your right hip down and round your spine. Nice, we'll lift the chest. Unravel, so rolling around to the left side. Your feet should be in the right place. If they're not, you can switch it up. Moving into a high lunge, so from fingertips down, reach your arms overhead. This time straightening that back leg, but keeping those hips squared to the front. Take a big breath in. Open up wide, warrior two. Straighten your right leg in your warrior two. Pivot the left toes halfway open, they're on a diagonal. Flex your right foot so the right toes lift up, and Skandasana, bending the left knee. You can stay here or use your fingertips and shift your foot to get a little bit lower, like a half malasana, opening up the chest. To come out, straight back into your warrior two. Nice. Twisting lunge, lift the back heel, reach the right arm up, and squeeze the shoulder blades. Right hand comes down to the ground, look forward, push into the right foot, standing splits, lift the left leg up. This time, left hand goes forward, right hand goes back close to your right foot. Bow down and lift your leg. You'll see it might get a little bit higher. Bend your left knee, pull the left knee up towards the ceiling. Hold on to your foot behind you. You can stay right here, reaching for your foot, getting a big stretch, side bend, or bend your right knee. Like Ardha Chandrasana, lift the left arm up, the left hip up, and find your balance. In Ardha Chandrasana, just to flush it out, stretch that leg back. Look down, crisscross legs, left leg behind your right leg. Squeeze the inner thighs and fold forward. Halfway up, breath in. Fold over your legs, breathe out. This time we'll come onto the tippy toes. Bend the knees so you can have a seat. You're swinging through. Find your sit bones in the mat. Straighten out those legs if you can in your crisscross. If not, the knees are bent. Hold onto your feet and see if you can push your feet into your hands. If not, it looks more like this, almost like a V-sit Gomukhasana. And we'll drop the left leg down. Keep hold of your right foot with your left hand. Even out your hips and stretch your right arm back. Knee can be as bent as you need it. Really twist like you're backpacking your right shoulder towards the spine. And we take this right foot on the inseam of the left leg. Left hand comes anywhere from the calf to the ankle. Reach your right arm up. You can take the hand behind the head or reach for your foot, drawing the right sitting bone down.
Nobody even noticed. I saw them standing right there. Kinda thought they might care. I had a dream.
Unravel with the joy pose. Hand reaches back. Left arm reaches hips up towards the ceiling. Push your left foot to arch the spine.
You with me, and you say, as long as I'm
And have a seat again. To roll back, cross your shins. Get some momentum, rocking back, rocking forward. And we'll meet in a downward facing dog, or you move through a flow. So I'll be in a downward facing dog.
if I could change the way that you see yourself.
Walk your hands back towards your feet, land your feet. One more time, Malasana squat. Toes come out, heels come in.
I tried to scream
This time,
in my
use your hands right away, lift your bum like before, and walk your hands forward, back into your downward facing dog, but keep your feet as they are.
somebody's daughter.
Bend your knees a lot, look forward. We're going for a little frog jump. We want to land these feet exact same way, just on the outsides of our hands. So look forward, wind up that spring, take a breath in, push from your hands, feet land, you're in a little Malasana at the top of your mat. We're gonna go back, so one more time, looking forward, pressing the palms, and shift the feet back, and we land. Good. Downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up and back. Take a breath in. Step your left foot on the outside of your left hand. This time, pyramid pose. You straighten both of your legs, and you have lots of space for this hip to go back. Both hands on the outside of your left foot. Rolling the left hip back, walking to the left until we have a seat in a Gomukhasana pose. So knees stacked, heels on the outside of the hips. Take a breath in. Rounding up and over your knees. Tuck the chin. Let the shoulder blades slide away from each other.
If they knew what they said would go straight to my head, what would they say instead? If I knew it all, then would I do it again? Would I do it again? If they knew what they said would go straight to my head,
So we'll push yourself up. We're unraveling. Going to the front of your mat. Straight into a high lunge shape. So organize your left foot to the center. Soften up that knee. And let's rise up with the strength of the middle body, stacking, and straighten your back leg. Open up, warrior two, walk the back foot back. This time, straighten your front leg, your left leg. Pivot those toes of the right foot slightly out and flex your left foot so the weight is coming forward. In your Skandasana, you can stay with the fingertips down or your hands to prayer. So lift the hips, straighten out the back leg into your warrior two shape. Right hand comes down, right heel lifts, twisted lunge, reach the left arm up. And left hand comes down to the mat. Look forward, lunge forward into a standing splits. You're kicking that right leg up. This time your left hand comes close to the foot. Right hand becomes a kickstand for you. Bend the right knee and bow. The more you bend the knee and squeeze the shin in, it might be a little bit easier to go grab that foot. Perfect place to stay, or we'll challenge our balance of the left foot. Shifting the right hip up. And open. Ooh. Ardha Chandrasana. Kick out your leg, find your Ardha Chandrasana. And look down, tuck your right leg behind your left leg. Winding down halfway up. Squeeze your inner thighs to fold. One more halfway lift. This time coming onto your tippy toes. Bend at the knees. Find the sitting bones on the mat. You're lifting the heels any amount. You can grab for the outsides of your feet and stretch out your legs. You're using a little bit of leverage and weight of your legs to not fall back or forward. Let the right leg go. If this knee is bent, it's bent. If it's straight, it's straight. Twist. Pull the left shoulder back and reach with your fingertips. Your foot comes into the inseam of your leg. Widen your hips. Right hand comes down and grab the toes. Elbow can come down. Left arm is like reaching past your ear and lean back. So sometimes it's nice to press your hand back, reach your arm over your head. Good, enjoy pose. Left hand comes back. Press your right foot. Pull your hips up towards the ceiling. Reach your right arm behind your feet. Good, have a seat. This time we'll stay down. Look forward. And just really simple, roll down your spine with your knees bent, with your feet flat to the mat. From here, we'll have our arms out in a cactus shape. So elbows down, backs of your palms to the mat. As much as you can, keep this active and press the whole back body into the mat. You're relaxing your low back and keeping a little bit of contraction in the abdomen just to keep you safe. So like we're doing snow angels, reach those arms over your head by dragging the backs of your wrists on your floor or your carpet on your mat until maybe the thumbs touch. And once you're up there, press even more into your ribs and your back body. And we'll go back down, bending the elbows, keeping those arms lazy and heavy. Keep those arms over your head. Straightening them out like you're scrubbing the floor with your wrists, with your palms. And bend your elbows one more time, flushing it out. Now we'll keep the arms over your head. You can always have your hands down here. You're doing a little back bend here, pressing into your feet. Make sure they're about hip distance apart. Feet feel like they're going through the mat. Tuck the tailbone under to get the hips to come up. And you're really feeling more pressure in your shoulders, so not in your neck. Keep your chin tucked. Imagine your knees going forward and your hands being dragged back. I let go of my claim on you. It's a free world. So arms are gonna reach down as your hips curl down, little back massage. Keep lots of push in the feet. Like a wave, reach the arms back, tilts the tailbone under, Find your back bend, your chest opening. One more, rolling down really slow, feeling every inch of your spine. Arms touch the ground when your hips touch the ground. And up we go with the hips, with the arms up and over your head. Getting those hips as high as you can, knees forward. And down we go. Widen your feet apart. Shift your knees from side to side, windshield wiper. And bring your knees in towards your chest. Without your hands, point your toes and see how much you can squeeze your knees in, using a little strength of your legs to stretch your own legs. Then use your hands to give them an extra push towards the middle. Holding onto your kneecaps, let the weight of your legs pull forward. Really holding on with long arms. Relax your legs into your hands. Find a little stretch, opening up the knees just with your arms. So pretend you don't have any ability to move your legs. Bending at the elbows, circling them in. These circles can be as wide or as small as you need. Opening up, pulling in by bending your elbows. And then switch directions. Landing in a Supta Baddha Konasana. One hand on your heart, one hand just underneath your belly button.
I want to feel the speed and the pulse.
Making an effort just to let go. Letting go in your jaw, in your shoulders, in your wrists, in your hips, your ankles, and your toes. Maybe making your way into your Shavasana or using that as your Shavasana, getting comfortable, a little vulnerable.
When the reason is to taste
And feel free to stay as long as you need. Take your rest. Thank you so much for sharing your practice. Namaste.